Let's talk about the method of formation of salt or the method of preparation of salt. There are four basic methods of formation of salt. Now I am going to mention these four methods of making salt. Number one, by the direct combination by the direct combination of elements. This is one of the method of formation of salt. Now we can take another method like this. This is another method by the reaction of metal with acid. By the reaction of metal and acid. Now there is another method of formation of salt. This is by the reaction of acid with metal oxide. Reaction of acid with metal oxide. There's another method also. We can see the fourth method of preparation of salt, that is by the reaction of metallic hydroxide. Reaction of metallic hydroxide with acid. Okay, these four can be recognized as the method of formation of salt. Let's take example of each of them. This is the first one, by the direct combination of elements. Just for example, when sodium element combines with chlorine, then sodium chloride forms. This is one of the method of preparation of salt. Two elements directly combine with each other to form salt. We can balance this equation this way, 2, and if we take here 2, it's okay. But now let's talk about second method of preparation of salt, by the reaction of metal with acid. Just for example, this is a metal zinc. When zinc reacts with sulfuric acid, then what happens? Zinc sulfate forms. Zinc valency 2, sulfate valency 2, equal valency, no exchange, and hydrogen comes out in this reaction. This way, by the reaction of metal, this metal is reacting with this acid and this is the salt. And another example also, let's take another example. Magnesium, when reacts with hydrochloric acid, then what happens? In the reaction of metal and acid, metal always displaces the hydrogen of acid to form salt. Magnesium, when displaces hydrogen, then what happens? Magnesium chloride forms. Magnesium valency 2, chlorine 1 we don't have to transfer, magnesium 2, and that's why this is the hydrogen which is displaced from hydrochloric acid. And to balance this equation, hydrogen 2, here it is 1. If I take here 2, it is balanced. Chlorine 2 balance, magnesium balance. This is the example of the reaction of metal and acid which forms salt. Now another, by the reaction of acid with metallic oxide. Now let's talk about metallic oxide. Let's say this magnesium oxide. This is metal combined with oxygen, metallic oxide. Let's say another one, iron oxide. This is metallic oxide. These are metallic oxide. We can take another also. Look at this. S2SO4, when it reacts with an acid, S2SO4, when it reacts with hydrochloric acid, let's see, then what happens? When metallic oxide reacts with acid, then it forms salt and water, and this magnesium displaces hydrogen, MgSO4, valency 2 to equal, valency no exchange, and another is water. Another product is water. And this reaction is balanced, and that's why we don't have to balance this. Okay, iron oxide when reacts with hydrochloric acid, then what happens? Iron chloride forms. Iron chloride along with water. Hydrogen is displaced by this iron chloride forms. This is not balanced equation. Hydrogen here it is 2. Here if I take 2 then balanced. Then chlorine is 2. Chlorine also here also 2. This is balanced chemical equation now. There is another method of preparation of salt. Now let's talk about the last one. By the reaction of metallic hydroxide with acid. Metallic hydroxide. Let's take sodium hydroxide. This is one of the metallic hydroxide. Let's take another example also. Zinc hydroxide. Zinc hydroxide, valency of zinc is 2, that's why it is transferred to hydroxide. And when sodium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid, then what happens? If this, let's take another sulfuric acid, if it reacts with sulfuric acid, then what happens? Then salt forms. Actually this is acid-base reaction. Metallic hydroxide are bases, and acid-base reaction. In acid-base reaction, one product is salt, another product is water. And how salt forms? Hydrogen of the metal, hydrogen of the acid is displaced by the metallic part of the base. That's why sodium takes the place of hydrogen. This is NaCl, and another one is water. And here also salt. Which salt forms? Now hydrogen is displaced by zinc, ZnSO4, and another product is what? Water. This is balanced chemical equation, that's why I don't have to balance this. Now this is not balanced equation. This oxygen is in different place in right hand side also. This sulfate will count sulfate. This oxygen I'm not counting. Oxygen 1, oxygen here it is 2, that's why I have to take here 2. And oxygen is balanced, 2 to the 4 hydrogen. Now hydrogen 2 and 2 4, and sulfate 1, zinc 1, zinc 1. This way these 4 methods of preparation of salt should be remembered, and any 1 or 2 or 3 or all of them can be asked in the examination. Okay, this much for today.